I remember sitting alone in my cluttered office late at night, the glow of my computer screen casting long shadows on the wall behind me, and feeling more lost than ever. My startup had grown so fast that I could hardly keep up with the pace, and yet, beneath the surface of success, I sensed a quiet emptiness gnawing at me. I was striving so fiercely for power, more clients, more money, more recognition, that I began to forget why I started this journey in the first place. It was as if I had become a ship caught in a storm, fighting to stay afloat, without ever knowing if I was steering in the right direction. Then, in the silence of that long night, something shifted. I remembered a story from my childhood, from a wise old teacher who once told me that true strength does not come from forcing your way through obstacles, but from understanding the natural flow of life, like water that effortlessly finds its path around rocks. That lesson echoed through my mind as I realized I had been trying to grasp control through tactics that felt manipulative, using my influence to outmaneuver others instead of lifting them up. I started to see that every attempt to dominate was like trying to wrestle with the ocean, exhausting, futile, and ultimately destructive. That night, I made a choice to seek a different kind of power, one rooted in service and harmony rather than dominance. I began to understand that true influence, real power, comes when you see yourself as a steward, not a ruler. I thought about the ancient teachings that talk about cultivating benevolence and righteousness, principles that remind us that leadership is about caring for the well-being of others, not just ourselves. I remembered how the wise Confucius said that harmony arises when everyone acts with sincerity and kindness. But I also knew it wasn't enough to simply desire benevolence. I had to practice patience and restraint, especially when my ambition threatened to overwhelm me. It reminded me of a lesson from the philosophy of the Tao, which teaches that the most effective action is often the least forceful, the kind of effort that aligns with the natural order, like a tree that grows steadily without rushing or pushing against the wind. It's about finding that effortless action, that flow, where your influence becomes persuasive not because of your force, but because of your authenticity. I realized that I had been caught in a trap, believing that power meant showing others how clever I was, outshining my team, or manipulating circumstances to my advantage. I was trying to control everything at once, forgetting that genuine strength often lies in restraint and humility. I saw how the most influential leaders in history weren't those who played tricks or wielded power like a sword, but those who inspired loyalty through trust and service. That's when I remembered another lesson, the idea that discovering your true voice is crucial to both personal fulfillment and effective leadership. When you find your purpose, your unique contribution, you unlock a kind of inner confidence that does not need to be pushed or manufactured. It's like lighting a fire from within, rather than trying to ignite it externally. I understood that by serving others, I could elevate not only my team, but also myself. It was a paradox. I had to surrender control to gain influence. I saw that when I focused on empowering my staff, listening to their ideas, and caring genuinely about their growth, something remarkable happened. The atmosphere in the office shifted from fear and competition to trust and collaboration. People started to really thrive, not because I demanded it, but because I nurtured it. I learned that in leadership, the real game is about balance, being firm yet gentle, strategic yet spontaneous, ambitious yet gentle in spirit. I asked myself, one is more powerful, crushing others to get ahead, or inspiring them to rise together? The answer was clear. The change wasn't immediate. Of course, it was subtle at first, like a quiet stream eroding a rock over years rather than a flood rushing and smashing everything in its path. But over time, I saw that influence rooted in kindness and authenticity created a ripple effect, one that couldn't be manipulated or bought. That night, I realized that the only true power worth seeking is the kind that helps others flourish, that creates harmony in chaos, that aligns your actions with your deepest purpose. I learned that the greatest victory in life isn't domination, but integration, bringing together your ambition and your service in a way that honors the natural order of things. And now, whenever I feel the pull of greed or control, I remember the image of water flowing around obstacles, finding its way with patience and grace. That's when I understand that leadership is less about pushing and more about guiding, by listening deeply, acting with humility, and trusting that when you serve others genuinely, power flows to you naturally and effortlessly. So, if you ever find yourself torn between the hunger to conquer and the desire to uplift, remember this: the true strength lies not in forcing others to follow, but in becoming a force of good that inspires others to follow your example. The secret is to realize that real influence is rooted in harmony and humility, in knowing that you can achieve more by giving than by taking, more by serving than commanding. When I finally embraced this truth, I felt a profound sense of peace, a harmony that balanced my ambition with my soul. And that's when I understood the ultimate lesson of power in today's world. Genuine strength isn't built on tricks or manipulation. It's crafted through sincerity, patience, and the unwavering commitment to serve a higher purpose. Because in the end, the greatest influence you can wield is the kind that nurtures the seeds of trust, love, and harmony, all thriving in the gentle flow of life itself.